Hey there! Today we're going to have a look at an interesting pen. This is a Pro Gear, Sailor Pro Gear butt. Very interesting. This is the Pro Gear in Japan Blue, which was an exclusive collaboration between Sailor and Wancher. I will, to keep this PG, say Wancher. And this is not my property. My friend Mike said, you know what, not only do I have an amazing sense of style and the world's most fantastic hats, I will also lend you this pen so you can review it, which is incredibly kind of him. So, thanks a lot, Mike. I'm going to cover the parts of the pen. I'll do a writing sample and I'll tell you what I like about it and what I don't like about it. Let's get started. Okay, so here we go with the Wancher Japan Blue Pro Gear. Now, you can see it here right next to a Lamy Safari. You see it's a little shorter. The Pro Gear is a shorter pen, but with this nice hammered anodized aluminum on the body, you do actually get a slightly girthier pen than it usually is in my mind. Now, what makes this pen so special? As I said, a collaboration between Wancher and Sailor. This is aluminum on the cap and body, which has been anodized actually with Japanese blue. It's an indigo that is harvested from a specific flower, and that makes for a very interesting blue that is, depending on the light, something that ranges from a very deep dark blue to something that's almost purple. So a true indigo. Hammered steel, that's a technique called tankin, and I think it's a very beautiful pen. Not inexpensive, 635 Canadian, but that doesn't matter because they're sold out anyway. So let's look at the parts of the pen. On top you have the Sailor finial with the little anchor, as you would expect for a Sailor pen. A bit of black material here, and then you get into that hammered material. So very interesting texture, both visually as well as in a tactile sense. It's actually very smooth, but you do feel, of course, that those hammer marks. Center band that says Japan. It says blue. It says, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm looking around a tripod. You see. Oita, and it says made Japan. Mr. Oita, I think, is the owner of Wancher, if I remember correctly. Barrel, pretty straight, and then tapers down here at the end. There is a little, there are little protrusions here, which aid in, if you unscrew the cap, posting. Now I'll come back to posting. Black section, this is a Pro Gear section, there's nothing strange about this. Here we have the nib. This is a 14K nib in hard medium. It is, I'm sure, rhodium plated. It's not gold color, it's not a two-tone nib, which I think works pretty well with the dark blue. We have the plastic feed, and the pen is fed through a cartridge-converter system. It's a smaller pen. The Pro Gear is a smaller pen, but is quite comfortable, and interestingly enough, you can of course post it. Now, it's a very secure way to post, but with the aluminum, even though aluminum, or if you prefer aluminium, is a lighter metal, it does become a bit top heavy, and yet I find it strangely comfortable posted, which is weird. It grows on you a bit as you use it in a posted fashion. Now let's do some writing with this. So here we have the Wancher Japan Blue Pro Gear. The nib is a hard medium and the ink is blue. Mike put this in and I don't know what ink it is. I forgot to ask him, you'll have to bear with me. Fortunately, this is not an ink review. It is a nice blue though. Writing is actually very lovely. Tiniest bit of feedback, and I find that very pleasant. It's a really pleasant writer. It's a little tough to write very quickly because of the weight at the back. And as you might expect from Sailor, the nib is great, right? A very good writer, keeps up well with the flow, works well. I'm very positive about this writing experience. As to wetness, yeah, nice wet pen. Line variation, there isn't much. It's a pretty stiff nib. Reverse writing, it's possible, and you get an extra fine. It's a little bit more feedbacky, but sometimes when you do this, the nib really digs into the paper. It does not in this case. So, let's see what I like about it and what I don't like about it. What do I like? What do I not like about the Wancher Japan Blue Pro Gear? Well, there's quite a lot to like about it. I mean, this hammering technique is really cool. You see that on some samurai swords. You see it on some Japanese kitchen knives, and I always liked that finish. I think it's very cool visually as well as in a tactile sense. It is the Sailor nib, and that means it writes well. It is a beautiful pen. You buy a pen to write with, well, there is no complaints as to writing in this pen. It writes very smoothly, very nicely. I really like that. I also find it strangely comfortable when it's posted, even though you initially think that's weird, it'll be top heavy. Yes, it's top heavy, but strangely enough, it works. And that I think is very, very cool. Now, being a Pro Gear, yes, it is a bit small. It is a smaller pen, especially unposted. It is a bit smaller, but I still find it comfortable. The posting, as I said, I find that a little bit of a double-edged sword. It's strange. It makes the pen very long, and it looks like it's going to be off balance. It is a little off balance, and yet it works. Very, very strange. One thing I could say is it is a bit pricey. It's 635 Canadian, but then on the other hand, yeah, that hammering work, there's a lot of manual labor involved. So when you think about it, I don't think the price is that terrible given what it is. The final thing I will say, and I think that is an objective statement, is that the pen rolls. There is no clip, nor is there a roll stopper or anything. So the pen may roll off your desk. The advantage is, if it dents, you won't see it. So that is great. Beyond that, cool, nice pen, very interesting. So a very kind thank you to Mike for lending me this. A lot of people asked me if I was going to be getting one, wanted to review it, etc. So here you go, this is the review. I hope this was useful, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye.